I did not announce I was doing this training. This is totally just me sharing some more valuable knowledge with you before the challenge comes to a close. Give me a shout out if you're live. Give me a hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. As a reminder, guys, it is past 2 p.m. Eastern time, so this is not going to count for any points, but this is merely just for your own benefit and for you to get some clarity on what you really need to be successful on the health and weight loss journey, if that is your mission. And again, even if we were counting this as points, we don't show up and do these educational trainings just for points, right? We do not associate our success by the scoreboard. We associate our success with our efforts. And I talked about that a couple weeks ago on another mindset training. So I just want to remind you guys of that, but you will find this very valuable if you feel like you are doing so many things right and you're still not getting results. So what if I'm the reason I'm not getting results? Comment in the chat here if you've thought that before, right? Like, I'm counting calories. I'm writing in my food journal, I'm working out, like I'm walking like a crazy person, and I'm still not seeing the pounds come off. I'm not seeing the inches. I'm not feeling much different. Comment in the chat if you're feeling that. And so what I will do today for you guys is give you some clarity on why this happens. And oftentimes it has everything to do with ourself. And what I mean by that is, I'm not talking about hormones, okay? I'm not talking about your age. A lot of times people say, oh, well, I'm 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, whatever age. I've heard everything, every age in that time, in that duration. And they will say it's their age, right? Or, oh, I think it's my hormones because I've tried so many things, nothing's working, right? Usually it's nothing to do with those things, right? Usually it has to do with what's going on up here, okay? Why we quit easily, why we're not consistent, why we get super overwhelmed and so flustered so easily that we just say like, F it, I'm just not doing anything. Okay, so I really kind of want to shed some light on this topic. Okay, hey girl, you're here live with me. You're doing everything wrong, apparently. Kay, I don't want you to think that. Hey, Margo, what's up? It's usually not that you're doing everything wrong, but typically there are a couple things that need tweaking. And Kay, you might find that this will be really helpful for you because it might be of how we look at things, right? And Margo, you said this so beautifully, how your whole perspective changed in our 12 weeks worth of work together, 20 pounds down. She's doing her interview on Tuesday night. Super excited for that. Her pictures are in the Facebook group, guys. Go look at her transformation. But Margo, I'm going to highlight you here for a second because Margo's transformation, yes, her pictures look incredible, but the biggest transformation, Margo, tell me if I'm wrong, was here, right? Aaron, same thing for you, 30 pounds down. Abby, I know that was big for you, right? That is the big shift. Okay, so what I want to talk today about is self-sabotage. This word right above me, this phrase I should say, because oftentimes from my experience working with people for weight loss for a long time, it's usually not to do with their workouts. It's not to do with with what they're eating. Sometimes it's that too, yes, but it's usually what's going on up here. So let me talk about this a little bit. So what does self-sabotage sound like? Okay, because you might even be thinking some of these things and you don't even realize it. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk you through that. So let me remember, right? So what I mean is not you, it's not your age, it's not your hormones, it's not your metabolism. So let's just get that out of the equation. That's a story that you're telling yourself. So typically it is self-sabotage that really prevents people from any age of seeing the results they're looking for. Okay, so self-sabotage sounds like this. Usually it's a thought you're telling yourself. So for example, my family or my job makes it too difficult, right, to lose this weight or to be consistent, to exercise or whatever the case might be. So I remember, Margo, that was what you were saying, right? Like, oh my gosh, like my husband likes to eat this and the kids like to eat this. I'm breastfeeding, I'm working, I don't sleep. Is this possible for me, right? Or like, oh my gosh, like I own my own business and I work 14 hours a day and I have to travel and I have to take care of my family. Like I don't have time to do all these things. All right, or you do it for 2 weeks and something stops, right? Or like there's so much stress on your plate, right, that it just makes everything not doable for you. Okay, so that alone is an example of self-sabotage because we're blaming other things in our life for our own success, right, or lack thereof, right? I'm too busy to work out or make time to cook or meal prep. You guys, I think all of us can agree on this. We make time for things that are important to us, right? So this is just another story. And whenever someone tells me it's the time reason, they usually break free of that. And I'm like, okay, it's really not about the time, It's about something else. It's always about something else. I have too much, or I'm too exhausted to add anything else to my plate. Like I'm too tired, to think about nutrition or to go do a workout. Like I don't have the energy. Comment if you've thought that before or have said that before. Okay. Because I hear this a lot. This is also another example of self-sabotage. So it's like self-sabotage is when we know the right thing to do, but don't do it. Let's put it that way. There's something holding us back. I have too much weight to lose and it's not coming off fast enough, right? So maybe like you have lost some weight, right? Or it's coming off slowly and you're just like, I'm just gonna stop. Like it's not fast enough and I don't think I can really get to where I want to be. It's just not worth the effort. Is that true? Really? That's self-sabotage right there. Or, okay, this might be like you. I think I'm doing everything right and not seeing results. Okay. Because if we really have that thought, I'm doing everything right? If we were doing everything right, then we would be getting results, right? So what are we not doing right? So it's really getting clear, because if we 100% believe we're doing everything right and we're not willing to change, that's self-sabotage. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And I know it is sometimes difficult to break free from doing things that we think are right, but they're not serving us, because we get into a certain rhythm with those routines and those habits. But if they're not generating the results we're looking for, what is the benefit, right? So that's what I want to open your eyes up to here, okay, is making the changes we need. Because change is scary, I get it, but it is necessary. And if we're not willing to change, that is the ultimate example of self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is not being willing to change and just wanting to stay stuck. Right? Because if you didn't want to stay stuck, you would change. Okay, just being brutally honest here. All right, so that's what self-sabotage sounds like. And here's why it happens. Right. And so I want you guys to take some notes here. I do have my whiteboard behind me and I'm going to step away from it, as I'm talking here. So you can definitely take notes from my board, but also just pay attention to the examples I'm giving you, because I would say every person I've worked with in Create My Weight, myself included, I think everybody self-sabotages, right? And I don't want you to think that you can never self-sabotage again in your life to be successful. It's not true. Everybody self-sabotages from time to time, myself included, but how do we bounce back? How do we go through peaks and valleys and thrive when we're in the valley, right? How do we get back up, right? So why does self-sabotage happen? Let's talk about this. Okay, take notes. Number one, we are too focused on the wrong things. This is super common, especially when people first come to Create My Weight. They're like, oh my God, like I'm working out 6 days a week. I'm running, I'm weight training, I'm like doing other cardio, I'm doing abs, like I'm doing all these things, but nothing's working. Or I'm eating, 1,200 calories a day, 1,400 calories a day. I've cut out carbs, like I've done the whole 30, I've done all these things and I'm just like not seeing results, right? Or they're cutting out whole food groups. Well, I'm cutting out carbs because I heard that's the best thing to do. I'm going low fat because I heard that's the best thing to do. So I don't know, right? We're focusing on the wrong things. If we're so obsessive with exercising, we're probably neglecting other things. If we're so obsessed with food, we're probably neglecting other things. When people ask me, Kristen, what's more important? Is it nutrition? Is it fitness? I'm like, it's never one or the other. It's always both. This is a process. It is not a decision. I'm only going to do this. That's the all or nothing mindset. I'll get into that in a little bit. That's a big problem for self-sabotagers, okay, is the all or nothing mindset. But anyway, we're so focused on the wrong things. I'm going to make sure I'm walking 10,000 steps and I'm going to do all my workouts. But other things go to the wayside, right? That can lead to injury too, guys. Over-exercising is actually a problem as well. Too much high-intensity workouts. Oh, I'm doing only high-intensity workouts. Like, why am I not seeing results? Whoever said high-intensity workouts are the best way to work out for everybody? I've actually worked with people that I've told them, let's cut out the high-intensity workouts because they're not serving you. And guess what? Once they do that, then the pounds start coming off. Right? Actually, when I used to work with bikini competitors, they were actually not allowed to do high intensity workouts. They were not allowed to do classes for 4 months during their prep because the effects on their cortisol levels. Right? And guess what, guys? If your cortisol is going through the roof, weight loss is really difficult. Really difficult. Okay, right? So I'm just sharing this from experience, you guys. This is not my theory. This is just fact from what I've seen year after year of working with people of all ages, okay? From, I don't know, 10 to 75, okay? All right, here we go. Number 2. So number 1, why it happens, we focus on the wrong things. Number 2, we have an unhealthy relationship with food. And I want to give a shout out to Jocelyn because she's posted about this in the challenge group a couple weeks ago about why she had an healthy relationship with food. So Jocelyn, Abby's mom here, she lost 70 pounds on her own, but she did it in a way that was very restricted, right? She cut out all certain food groups. She only could eat at certain times, and she was very, very regimented. And she was tired of doing that, and she wanted to lose another 20, and she's like, I can't do it the way I'm currently doing it. Right? So she wanted to learn flexibility in nutrition. And so she wanted to learn how to add these other things back into her life because she only saw foods as good and bad, right? And the problem with that is that it affects our relationship with food. And we're afraid to eat certain things. We feel guilty about eating certain things. I can't look at a bowl of pasta without gaining weight. I've heard that a million times. Comment in the chat if you thought that too. Eat rice, I'm not allowed. It's not on my plan. Why? Did a doctor tell you can't eat rice? Like, do you have some allergic reaction to rice? Because then I understand. But otherwise, like, let's talk about that. This is also kind of why I don't like apps that like green, yellow, and red, like don't eat this, only eat this. Like it again creates this vision that's good food and bad food. Any dietitian will tell you that's not the right way to think about food. Okay. So that's definitely, for this self-sabotage. We learn to look at food in certain ways and it makes us have this fear of foods, right? And then what if cutting out certain foods is not the best formula for us? I've had people say, well, I'm cutting out all these fats, but actually their body does better with eating more fat. So it doesn't serve them. Same thing with carbs. Okay. Too much protein is not good either, right? So we have to create a healthy relationship with food so we can eat all of them, right? The best diets include all of the macronutrients, all of them. All right, so number 2, unhealthy relationship with food. That is an example of self-sabotage. Number 3, negative sabotaging self-talk. Comment here in the chat if you are your greatest critic, right? You are so hard on yourself. People might tell you how amazing you are. You work hard. You're looking great. Your efforts are noticed, but you're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not where I want to be. I have so much further to go. Kristen in the group, girl, that was you. You remember? Oh my God. Now your pants are falling off. Remember? Oh my gosh. So negative self-talk sounds like this. Even if you are losing weight, right? You're doing all the things you should be doing. I'm never going to reach my goal. Okay. You know what? I've lost 10 pounds. So I'm just going to go eat this burger. And then I'm just going to eat more burgers. And it just you get off the wagon. You fall off. Right? I deserve this. It's been a long day of work. I deserve a glass of wine. I'm going to have 2. And then that happens every day. Right? Or, you go to Abby. Remember this happened to you, girl? You went to brunch with your friends, and this was like week 7 or 8 for you. You're like, I went to brunch and I overdid it, and I feel really bad about it. And yeah, but you still lost 3 pounds this week, Abby. What's wrong? I'm like, yeah, you're right. But there was still that guilt. There was still that negative self-talk, right? But if we hadn't worked on that, what would have happened after that week? Right? Would you fall back off the wagon again? This is what I mean by we need to have a good relationship with food. If we overdo it, okay, then what? I ate a whole bag, guys, this big of CXA chips on Monday. Yeah, last Monday. I talked about it in my CNW group. And did I just say, oh, whatever, there goes the whole week? No. No, we don't do that. Things happen. Okay, so this negative talk, right? I'm never going to reach my goal. I'm never going to maintain it. Chloe, that was you. Remember, I'm not going to be able to maintain my weight. Look at you. You've maintained just fine. All the negative self-talk, that mean girl inside of you. Okay, that mean girl talking to you. Okay, so that was number 3, the negative sabotaging self-talk. Number 4, the all or nothing mindset. Okay, this is really important because men especially tend to have this all or nothing mindset, and women tend to be a little bit more in shades of gray. However, I do find from time to time people have this all or nothing mindset. For example, they're either all in on exercising and eating healthy, or they're not, right? Like they're just doing whatever. Okay, there's no shades of gray. There's just black and white. And that's a problem, because that's the quintessential example of self-sabotage, right? Because it's like, oh, well, if I can't, work out exactly how I want it this week, or if I can't eat exactly how I should this week, then it's not worth my efforts. That's self-sabotage. That's exactly what it sounds like in your head, right? And although you might not be thinking that consciously, you're believing it subconsciously, and that's the problem. Okay, so really overcoming self-sabotage is focusing on the subconscious, what you feel, right? Because then we could fix this too. Okay, so the all or nothing mindset, and I can't eat bread, I can't eat pasta. Like if I'm on a diet, I'm not eating any of those things. And like, how sustainable is that, right? This all or nothing mindset, guys, does not breed sustainability, right? And the most important part of any weight loss strategy is it has to be sustainable and it has to be stress-free. You can't just like take over your life in a bad way, right? Overthinking it. No. All right. So all or nothing mindset is why this happens. Example of self-sabotage. Right, that's number 4. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I forgot to show you guys this. So if you want to be taking notes, focusing on the wrong things, unhealthy relationship with food, negative sabotaging self-talk, all or nothing mindset. All right, this is a good one I like to talk about. Okay. Sometimes when we fall off the wagon, okay, why we do that is because of these are actually not emotions. They're byproducts of emotions, but overwhelm, stress, and anxiety. Okay, these are big ones. So for example, work is too crazy, right? Like, you want to work out and you're eating healthy, but work is still like not going your way. So like your sleep is off, and then you miss some workouts, and then like you don't want to make a salad, you don't want to make something healthy, you want to just go through a drive-through, right? And then it gets into this vicious cycle, right? Because of overwhelm, because of stress, because of anxiety. Anxiety is not a word I use very often. Anxiety, actually all of these words for that matter, these are very broad, right? So what we do in CMW is everyone says, I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed. I have anxiety. But why? Where is this coming from? And it's usually other emotions that cause it, or other aspects in our life that are causing it. We don't create our own overwhelm. It's from something else. But we have to learn how to deal with it, because if we don't learn how to deal with it, that's self-sabotage. Okay, so this is another reason why this. So these are all examples, guys, of what self-sabotage is, right? But it is totally capable. You're totally capable of overcoming self-sabotage. Absolutely, right? If you work on it, you have to put in the work. Okay, number 6, emotional eating. Okay, so this is like my wheelhouse. This is what Kisa does a lot as well in Create My Weight. You see her talking about it, but emotional eating, and the truth about emotional eating, guys, is that everybody emotionally eats. Every person on this planet. But some of us do it way more, and some of us can do it way less, right? And in order to lose weight and keep it off, you don't have to 100% overcome emotional eating, because like I said, everyone does it from time to time. But if we can, drastically reduce it, you will be successful. And I share my story a lot that I used to be a severe emotional eater. I had this very all or nothing mindset with food, very, good food, bad food. And when I was stressed, I would go to like the bad food, right? Like I would go to candy. I would go to, not candy, I should say that, Monster Trail mix. Yes, gummy bears I liked. Ice cream, cookie dough. Those are my big 4. Big cookies too. There was a bakery across from my apartment in college. And then also when I graduated years later, I just loved like sweets. I've always had a sweet tooth. Some people turn to alcohol. Some people turn to chips, right? They want the crunch, right? That satisfaction is stress typically. How many of you crave something crunchy or sweet at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon or at nighttime? Sometimes it's stress, sometimes you're tired, right? There's all kinds of reasons this happens. But emotional eating, you guys, is ultimately a response to this or to this. or to this, or to this, or to this, right? Oh my gosh, I'm working out and I'm doing all of these things. So I'm not getting results. Why am I wasting my time? I'm just gonna go eat a bag of Cheetos. Or I'm gonna go just drink some wine, because what's the point? That is self-sabotage, because you're quitting on yourself. If you quit on yourself, self-sabotage, it's on you. It's not anyone else's fault, right? And I don't want you to feel guilty about that, but I want you to know that that is what you need to overcome. It has to be your mission to fix this to get results, right? Because whenever someone tells me I'm eating healthy, I'm working out, but I'm not getting results, I know there's something else going on, always. And that's why I do my strategy sessions with people, because I can't help people. CMW will not work for you unless you know the whole story and you're willing to work on that. I'm very honest about that. Right? So we're emotional eaters. We turn to food for comfort. If we're stressed, we're overwhelmed. And sometimes people will say, well, I'm not an emotional eater. Actually, I don't eat when I'm stressed or I'm overwhelmed. 2/3 of the population actually fall in that category. That's totally fine. But it doesn't mean that our emotions don't affect us, right? So emotional eating psychology is not only about eating, it's also about handling your emotions. And we talk a lot about that in CMW. Chloe, if you guys haven't watched Chloe's interview from a couple weeks ago, watch Tawny's interview, Sonia's interview, Elisa's interview. That was the biggest piece of their journey, was overcoming their emotions. Okay, last but not least, guys, so you can take notes on this, but you flip over. All of these things happen because of life circumstances or the stories we tell ourselves, okay? So we say, oh my gosh, like I've never lost this weight before, or I've lost weight, but it's never gonna stay off, and that's the story we tell ourselves. Or work is too busy for the next 3 months, so I'm just gonna do whatever, and then I'm just gonna have to wait to work on myself. Like, what? Like, what? Why? Right? Is that true? And if we really think it is, we have to undo that story. And the whole truth about Create My Weight is that we create evidence that all these thoughts you're telling yourself, this self-sabotage, we create evidence that it's false. Ask anyone here. We've proved all of those limiting beliefs false, if they're willing to work on this, okay? Because all of these stories we tell ourselves, right, in most cases, it's just a sexy excuse, right? Danita, I'm using your phrase here. Well, my husband eats pizza in front of me and I can't not eat it. Well, first of all, your husband's not forcing it down your throat, right? But number 2, who said you can't eat pizza? Do you see all the pizza we posted in this group in the last week? And no, not just cauliflower crust, right? You can also eat regular pizza. It's food with food freedom. I want you guys to understand that. It's not just you can only eat Miracle Noodles and you can only eat cauliflower crust. You can only have mojitos with no alcohol. Oh my God, no, that's not food freedom. No, food freedom is having all of those things, right? Because you want to be healthy too, right? Health first, weight loss second, both with strategy. That's what Create My Weight's all about. But I want to just reiterate this to you guys, because from the bottom of my heart, I want all of you guys to be successful. Whether you work with CMW or you don't, whatever you choose is perfect. Please understand that. Some of you were with us for 2 weeks and this was all you needed. You're getting results. You want to do the rest on your own and you don't feel like you need us. And that's fine. That's amazing. I want everyone just to be happy, right? But if you're really struggling, right, you want to continue getting results and you're not sure if you can keep doing it, you don't have the confidence in yourself, right? We got to get your mind right. We have to get the mind right. That's imperative. You have to be able to stop yourself from self-sabotage, the negative thinking, and focus on the real struggle, right? Mind, and that whole phrase, guys, mindset, I know it's so vague, but this is why I also call it motivation. And I'll talk a little bit more about this tonight on the celebration call. But how many of you, comment in the chat here, how many of you lose motivation easily? Like you're motivated for 2 weeks, maybe a month, 6 weeks max. I've heard people tell me, Kristen, I'm good for 30 days and that's it. Something happens. How many of you lose motivation easily? Okay, and this is why. Lack of motivation is lack of confidence, right? and lack of confidence that you can do this, because we have that negative self-talk happening. Oh, I'm not going to go. I've lost 10 pounds. I'm always stuck here. Regine, she's not in the challenge right now, but Regine just lost 20. She texted me yesterday. She's lost more weight since we finished, but she always was at that 7-10 pound mark, and she can never go above that, right? She had no confidence that she could do it without cutting out all these foods. And she wanted her wine, and that was just like a non-negotiable for her. You had to work around it, right? Working on your mindset means working on your confidence and the desire to do what you need to do despite your life circumstances, despite work, despite your family, despite going to brunch with your friends, despite going on vacation, right? Like, obviously knowing how to live your life nutrition-wise and enjoy it, but really working on your confidence and desire that you can live your life, right? And lose the weight you're looking for and maintain it, most importantly. Because life will always happen, always. My question to you, and I want you to really think about this, guys, are you going to let life stop you from achieving your goals? Okay. Are you going to let life stop you? If the answer is yes, you're willing to let life stop you, it's going to be really hard to reach your goals. And that is self-sabotage, when you're willing to let life control you. Or are you willing to take control, right, of what you can control? Fear, right? So fear is fear is the foundation of lots of negative emotions, right? We talk about this in CMW. So fear is the root of many other emotions. And so fear can mean one of two things. I've said this in my fitness classes before. We can forget everything and run, FEAR, or face everything and rise, right? What are you going to choose? Right? This is why mindset matters. Hashtag mindset matters. It's everything. 80% of the fitness, the health and weight loss journey is mindset, 20% everything else. I promise you. Ask anyone who's done my program. It is mindset, right? Because I can teach people, I can tell you what to eat, and I can tell you how to work out, but it doesn't mean you're going to do it. I don't know. And that's why, guys, unless you're willing to work on your mindset, CMW is not a good fit, because that's a big part of what we do. Right? Big, big thing. So if you think, guys, after listening to me talk and taking notes, I hope you took notes, comment in the chat if this was helpful for you. If you think you are the reason you're not getting results, make it your mission, your number one priority to work on your mindset. Okay? Don't worry about anything else for the time being. You will get the other stuff, but make it your mission, right? Because if it is not your mission, you will not get results. Long-term results, I should say. Maybe in the short term, but not in the long term. And you will not maintain it, that's for sure. Okay. I talked about the importance of mission a couple weeks ago, my first mindset talk in the Facebook group. If you actually search this group, go into the search bar and type in mindset, it's like one of the first things that comes up. I'm wearing a Me First tank top. I taught it like right after I finished teaching class. I go from teaching mindset to fitness all the time. But you guys, I really want to emphasize the importance of that being your mission. Make mindset your mission. Hashtag mindset is my mission. Right? And I know a few days ago I did a talk about food freedom, and I was like, food freedom has to be your mission, right? To have that flexibility in your nutrition and confidence that you can eat food you enjoy and still lose the weight that you want. But to have that confidence, you gotta work on the mindset, okay? And tonight on the celebration call, I will talk a little bit about the CMW program. Not too much, guys, because I know not everyone is here for the program or interested, and that's totally okay. Like I said, I think a lot of you came here to learn new recipes, you came here to try new workouts, and you might be good on your own, and that's great. And I want to celebrate you guys and celebrate your wins. I'm happy as long as you're happy. But if you're really struggling and you want to get to the next level, Kay or anyone else that's feeling really discouraged, I don't want you to feel that way at all. I want no one to feel that way. But I know the only way to not be discouraged is to get that confidence, right? And working on our mindset, guys, is everything. And like I said, I know that phrase mindset is like very woo-woo. maybe you think yogi or whatever. And guys, I used to think the same thing. Believe me, I used to like not want to think about my thoughts. That seemed like really foreign. I was like, what? But it's helped me in my business. It's helped me in my relationships. It's helped me with my family. It's helped me with my body and accepting my body. And it's helped me change the way I look at food, the way I look at fitness, the way I talk to myself, right? I'm really harsh on myself as well. Not so much on my body anymore. I used to be, but and just like things in my life, right? So, if we can fix that, how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? So this is why Margot said earlier in the group, and Margot, you actually said at the perfect time, how this journey has affected, her whole family. It's been a good experience for them because it changes the way we think of everything else. So again, make fixing your mindset or improving your mindset your mission, and everything else that you want in life will come, including your weight loss, if that is your goal, building your muscle, whatever it is that your goal is. Okay. So comment in the chat, guys, with your big takeaway. Like I said, I'll be talking a little bit more about mindset tonight and the program and, on tonight's call, but I really want tonight to be about celebrating you guys and how to keep up your momentum. And yeah, that's really it. So comment in the chat with your big takeaways. I want to make sure you're learning from this experience. Education is everything. Knowledge is power. So please take what I said. Make sure you have your notes. You will have access to this training for the next couple of days. Make sure you pay attention and take the notes and ask any questions you have below. And I'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye.